Hello, everyone. We are live again. It's a Friday afternoon, and it's a beautiful Friday afternoon where I am. And this week, I remembered to turn on the microphone. I'm still getting used to this new computer. You know, the downside of age is you live through so many changes. Oh, my. Uh, there are upsides to aging too, but the downside is I actually remember the very first phone I used, and it was a crank phone on the wall. You had to call the operator, and the microphone part was here, and it was a handheld thing here. I lived with my grandparents out in the country. I always also lived with my mother in the city, and she had a phone on the desk. But the first one I used was at my grandmother's house. So, anyway, this week we are going to answer one of our viewers' questions, and I thank you for sending those questions in. I apologized last week. I did not have the microphone turned on. Like I said, this is a new computer and I'm trying to get used to it. And I thought, well, I'll just go in and edit it. And it didn't quite work out that way for me either, because the editing program I used is not on this computer. And it's been a long time since I've tried to edit a video, and YouTube's changed and everything's changed. Hello, Annika. So always good to see you. So anyway, our message this week, or our question, put the glasses on, is will there be shadow to transmute at every level of light? Many spiritual speakers right now speak as if we can be all divine and light, which feels discouraging. Yeah, I get that. What is reasonable to expect of ourselves? Philip has a really good answer for this. And I love your questions because they help me as well. I always learn something. And that is so cool because sometimes I think, oh, I know the answer to that. And then I start writing out Philip's answer and it's like, oh, wow, so much more. Hello, Kelly. Good to see you. We're not going to get into politics on our weeklies. I will, again, we're not going to get into whether this election was a fraud. Of course, I don't believe it is, but Kelly, we're going to hold that for the monthly. And I'm sorry that so many Republicans do feel Americans have been brainwashed. Um, you know, this might even answer a little bit of that, but we're going to stay away on our weeklies from politics. But I will be doing before the week out. By the way, before the week is out, I'll be doing the monthly, and we'll get into politics there. This is the 48th week of year 2020, and this is November 22nd through the 28th. I forgot to pull my calendar out and write that, but I can see another calendar. We'll also get our message from Phillip, and as you know, this is just an oracle book. Each page has a different message, so we'll get that, but I do want to get into our question. New beginnings. Hi, Diana. Hi, everyone. Nice to be able to make it live. Glad to have you make it live. That's always fun for me, and then I get to figure out how to go back and read your comments later. And again, everything keeps changing so rapidly. And we are in that period of time where it's changing. I mean, it is changing overly quickly. Just on my Facebook page recently, and I may have also put it on my Twitter account, I put out there, thank you for the hearts, new beginnings. But I put out there that in one of my books, The Found Child, it's Phillip talks about how everything we are will be needed to. This is a $26,000 shift of the planet, and so every ounce of us is needed to get through this, to help others get through this. Also, this morning and earlier this week, a couple of different friends I was talking to mentioned to me that the moon looks so far into the south instead of the east. Well, I was explaining to them the Earth has shifted. Now, it shifts every winter. The moon will look more south. As it moves, it'll look like southeast to southwest rather than east to west. But it has shifted on its axis. Science tells us this. And with that shift, we're feeling that energetically. So, and that also is kind of what we're talking about a little bit in our weekly question. So Send those questions to me. Put them in the comments below. You can email them to me. Often in the middle of a reading with a client earlier this week, a question came up, and we both said that would be a great question for the weekly. So just let me know your questions and we'll get to them. Political questions we are keeping for the monthly. We're trying to be a little more esoteric. And if they're personal questions, please make an appointment to have personal questions answered. I want to keep these questions more esoteric. What's going on in the world? How do we deal with it ourselves? And this does address that. So Kelly, this may help you with your question that you're having here about how many Republicans believe that the election, that President Biden will not be inaugurated because the election is false. We can't do anything about their beliefs, but here's what we can do. Okay, the question is, will there be shadow to transmute at every level of light? Many spiritual speakers right now speak as if we can be all divine and light, which feels discouraging. What is reasonable to expect of ourselves? And here's what Phillip says. I think you'll like it. Yes, as we have taught you, there is need for warriors and for peacemakers and everything in between. So there's need for all of us and all that we are, what each of us are individual. There is a need. Human life is about the experience, and each of you have chosen different experiences. Some of you have chosen the grace of the mystic, while others have chosen the power of the shaman. Some have chosen the contemplative and prayer life of a monk, while others have chosen to be a soldier in a war. The question each human must ask is, where do I best serve love? Those who save a life on a battlefield are serving love if their heart is pure. Those who spend their days in prayer are serving love if their hearts are pure. If a speaker talks of divine light, this is serving their destiny if their heart is pure. There is no purity of service if the intention is not one of love. For example, to give to a charity will return to the giver if the giver's intention is to help those in need. However, if the intention is to believe more will come back to the giver, there is a lack of love here, and so this is not an intention of love. Therefore, it is not one of purity. This said, let us look at the specific question. Will there be shadow to transmute at every level of light? Let us begin. I have a friend who says every time she hears Phillip say, let us begin, she knows this is going to go deep. And again, I love your questions because I get answers to questions I wouldn't have even thought about asking. So thank you. So Phillip says, let us begin by saying light is light, and he's got a capital L, capital L. Light is light. There is only light. The levels that a human mind perceives is merely the human's perception. Interesting. So there's no levels to light. There's just light. I think I want to interject here because I think the questioner was saying levels of spiritual development. And those are levels because we're developing, we're learning. And light creates light. Hello, Lillian. Good to see you. Okay, let's go on. As the human's understanding of light grows, they will begin to see the shadow and light play together in an entwined dance. To see only light is possible, as is to see only darkness. There are those who are caught in the shadow of darkness. There are those who think they're in the light, and there are those who truly are. There are also those who dance with both, being not caught in the darkness and able to weave light into the shadow. And I think that's where most of us want to be, is those who dance with both, but being not caught in the darkness and able to weave light into the shadow. That's human life, isn't it? We don't want to get caught in the darkness, but we also, if we're in the light, we want to be true about it, not pretend or not think we are when we aren't. And most of us are weaving the two together. With each soul being different, each must decide their own journey and travel at their own pace. I'm going to repeat that because I think that is the most important thing that we really need to get. With each soul being different, each must decide their own journey and travel at their own pace. Listen to others and then process the information so that it works in your life. Each individual is different, traveling at their own speed of light. And then he laughs, Philip laughs, because he thinks a pun. Each individual is different, traveling at their own speed of light. Okay. To travel or try to travel at another speed is defying one's own path, which is a disrespect to one's life. You are all divine. You are all light. You are also all humans having an experience in the third dimensional world. To experience the light in this human world is simply to live a life from your heart. Live a life of love. Transform the anger to compassion and understanding. Transform the fear to acceptance. Transform the lack to abundance. Transform the uncaring to caring. This transformation takes place breath by breath, thought by thought, moment by moment. And it all begins by saying, I love myself just as I am in this moment of time. As you do this, you will begin to transform your life. And as you transform your life, you will transform the world. This is love. This is the light. I'm going to repeat that last part. This transformation takes place breath by breath, thought by thought, moment by moment. And it all begins by saying, I love myself just as I am in this moment. As you do this, you will begin to transform your life. And as you transform your life, you will transform the world. This is love. This is the light. Self-love. That's where it begins. Absolutely. New beginnings. Thank you. It is, in all of my workshops, the one I'm not teaching any now, except I am working with a group online um, because of the pandemic. But I say over and over and over in my workshops, you can't do this wrong. This is life. You get to do it over and over again, maybe, but you can't really do it wrong. So don't compare yourself to this person over here or this person over here. Compare yourself only to yourself and do a little better today than perhaps you did yesterday. That's all. Or maybe do a little better this moment than you did the last moment. You can't do it wrong, my friends. And as far as, is there only light? Can we really move to that? In the third dimension, I think we're always going to have shadow and light playing with each other. But do we move to other dimensions, other worlds? Yes, we do. But that's for another time. You've heard me speak about that one already. Let's get our message, shall we? As you know, we just flip through the book and open it to any page. And if you get and then we think left page or right page. If you get what I get, then your intuition's in tune with mine. If you get the opposite page, that's a message for you. So listen. So here we go. We're just going to flip through. And there we go. We're going to stop. And it always amazes me how these messages work. I'm actually getting right page. So I'm going to read that. But I also will read the left. So right page, if you got right, we're on the same intuition. This is interesting. When you are lonely, you have been given the opportunity to come to better know the one who lives within you. I'm going to repeat that. When you are lonely, you have been given the opportunity to come to better know the one who lives within you. I think the way that fits for me with our question this week is when we compare ourselves to the other, or when we feel discouraged because we think we're not, that these other people know so much more than we do. And what is the secret that they know? And can we really be all good and all light in this world? And I think that creates a loneliness. And at least for me, it creates a loneliness if I do that. And with COVID, where with this pandemic, we're really forced to not be with loved ones. And by the way, this will be Thanksgiving. And for those of you who have loved ones that you're going to be with, please be safe. For those of us who are not going to be with our families, what I have planned to do is I'm getting together with two other friends, and we're going for a day hike. And we have all been, the three of us have been careful. We will be social distancing, or if other people are around, we will wear our mask. But that's what we're doing, is we're getting together for outside for a day hike. So those of you who do celebrate Thanksgiving, I wish you a happy Thanksgiving. For those of you who do not celebrate Thanksgiving, then I wish for you a happy day. So let me repeat that again. When you're lonely, excuse me, when you are lonely, you have been given the opportunity to come to better know the one who lives within you. I wish I could show you the beauty of your own light. That is something that we all have to learn for ourselves. If you got left side, this is what your message is. When you dismiss another, you dismiss a part of yourself. When you dismiss another, you dismiss a part of yourself. I remind you that as we come into that light, we're all one light. We're all one soul. We're all part of that spirit, that God, whatever, by whatever name. We're all part of that. We're all one with that. And then we just spread it out into all kinds of expressions of human life. We don't have to like what the other one does. We may even stay away. You're crossing my boundaries, but we still have to love their spirit. We have to love who they are under the humanness, because we are all light, we are all spirit, and we are all love. And we are expressing at different levels. And that's okay. Some of us are warriors, some of us are peacemakers. Some of us are both the shaman, the power of the shaman, and the grace of the mystic. And we all have to decide for ourselves what we are and how we express that. Oh, my friends, I love each and every one of you. And I thank you so much for being with me and spreading our message here. Thank you for adding so much love to my life. It is this gorgeous day out, and love from Australia. Thank you so much. We love you. Daisy dog and I are going to go out. She's reached that age where we can't go off the land anymore, but we're very blessed to have a lot of land here. So we are going to go out and spread love to each other and to the trees and the grass and the leaves that have fallen. Thank you, my friends. Be who you are. Be the greatest you can be. That's what the light is. I love you. Thank you for accepting that love. Until the monthly, or until next week.